The initial inspiration for my painting Gaia was the Amazon rainforest fires this past July.
The Amazon basin is, of course, known as the lungs of the world. It provides 20% of the oxygen for the entire planet.
Fires are raging across Brazil's Amazon rainforest. There were roughly 20,000 fires there last month alone. Many are man-made as forests are cleared for farming.
Should people be concerned about the Amazon being lost if things don't change?
Yes, but I think we ought to be concerned about the planet getting lost if we don't change. This is a much bigger issue than the Amazon.
I don't know how to describe it. I think we have ideas of things that happen in other places and then like we don't really connect it back to us, but something spoke about Mother Earth and the fact that we're all living on the same planet, so it does affect us. And I felt a real strong desire to create something that spoke to Mother Nature or to Gaia, or Earth as a being and as in particular as a woman. That's what the central focus of the piece is the female body morphed with the natural elements, morphed with, on the left side, the growth of the forest, on the right side, the destruction, and in between is the fine line between, man-made destruction and natural disaster. And I thought about all these things when I was creating Gaia. What interested me initially in the subject, I do a lot of pieces based off of nature, and it was just kind of a continuation of that and continuation of current events. I want to do a series primarily based just on current events and things that are happening in the world today. One of my other pieces that kind of goes along with Gaia is my piece on abortion. This piece is kind of in sync with my piece about Gaia. It's a little bit more three-dimensional, but I do plan on I'm starting another Gaia piece where the female body will be morphed with the ocean and the fragility of water. I think there's an epidemic where we don't, just because it's not happening around us particularly, we don't feel the need to reach out or do anything. And I think I felt I wanted to paint this because it directly affects everybody on Earth. Now I want to get into how I painted this and my steps that I took. So I have my laptop right in front of me. I'm just gonna go over what I focused on and how I began. So this painting was painted on just a canvas. I just used one canvas this time for once, and I never do an underpainting of oil, but I just put a ton of liquid, which I need to buy more of, and I need to also shut the cap because it's like drying out. This is the liquid that I use. It is Winsor & Newton Liquid Original. It dries very fast, and it's a good medium to work with if you're an expert, if you're a beginner. I mean, I think it's really good to use. But anyway, I use this. I mixed it with a lot of burnt umber and just provided like a wash of, just to get rid of the white, just a wash of the oil layer for the first underpainting. I gridded it out first, and then I sketched the body onto the piece, and I didn't sketch everything out because I usually go with it as I create it or as I paint it. So I sketched it out, and then I immediately just started painting the underpainting of the burnt umber. Right here you can see the arm that I sketched. I believe I sketched it and then I went over it in a darker pencil, or I sketched after I put the oil painting there. Honestly, it doesn't matter. I totally forget because I didn't have a clip of me sketching. But here is a clip of just applying just trying to understand what the skin colors are going to be, like what the skin tones will ultimately be, and then painting some leaves. This was getting into the leaf work. I haven't used this much green in a long time, so it was refreshing to use green and the different blues and greens, because usually, as you can see this painting here, I used a lot of blue. It's all I've been using, and it was nice to use green for once in my life. And I do plan on using more green in the future too, especially with these like Mother Earth ones. I really want to expand this concept. So this is another session. I didn't get every session. It's hard. It's sometimes annoying to film when I paint, just because either I don't feel like putting up the camera, or what other lazy reason I want to come up with. But I'm adding some green to the left side, and then yeah, I was mainly just focusing on all the leaves. I really liked working with those and getting an idea of how I wanted to paint those. Now I'm working on the right arm and adding some highlights and shadows. The arms and hands, I've been obsessed with painting. Hands can be so detailed, but it's really meditative painting a hand slowly, as you see all of the different like not folds, but different planes and curves. It's very subtle, and you can like mess it up like that. Like a fingernail can look really warped if you don't stare at exactly how it is on the picture. Now I start working with the oranges and the yellows on the right side where the fire is. This was fun to experiment with how the breast turned into the fire and how the fire would play off of the body. Like I had a darker brown fiery color for the background, and then I started adding darker browns. I mixed a lot of blue with red for like a purpley brown, and I was just mixing different colors because I didn't want to particularly use black or Mars black, so I tried to avoid that as much as possible and just focus on really, really dark purplish. And then adding the yellow in there was really, it gave it a pop. Like I love this yellow. I think it's the Gamblin yellow that I used a lot, but it has such a fiery undertone that I wanted to use throughout the piece. And then I would like add little highlights here and there of where I thought the yellow would reflect in the other parts of the painting. And then on the tree trunk, I did add yellows too, for where it would play off of the shine from like where the fire was coming. I wanted it to look like it was reflecting off of the tree, and it was like a complete composition, because obviously I should show the Photoshop file what I worked off of, but there's nudity in it, so I can't put that up. But I would get flagged or whatever. I would show it, maybe like a censored version, but I used a reference photo. And I just had I would look up different photos of leaves and rainforests and different stuff. Here's me just adding just blue to the left side. I had to use blue, always. And then here's where I started to use not the Liquin original, however, I use these, which I'd highly recommend. They are in Liquin, it's the same brand, Liquin Impasto. Impasto is a lot thicker, and this is where I got all the texture from. You can see in this clip the detail that I put in just by laying the brush on the canvas. I love using Liquin Impasto and kind of counteracting the smooth Liquin surface of the original with this. I really like to play on texture. So that's what I did for the leaves. I could have got even into more depth with it, but I just really went crazy with the brush strokes on this. And that was pretty much the entire painting. Oh my god, my hair's so much lighter in this clip. But it kind of matches the fire, which is weird. That was the painting, and I don't have the clips from where I added all of the different branches. It was just kind of sporadic. I wanted them to form with the flames, so having those two work together was something that I really, really wanted to work out, for me at least, in the piece. But I am very happy with this piece. It's my best piece so far, I think, that I've ever done. One that I've been disciplined with. I remember I would work on it. I worked on it every day for a couple hours. Just scheduling out time for me to work on the specific piece really helped me get it done a lot faster. I think I started a little bit over a month ago, and I got it done in that amount of time, which was new for me because I usually drag pieces out for a longer period of time, like experiencing them through. And then I actually ended up selling this piece, which I'm super, like, I am humbled and grateful to have sold it, but I can't look at my work after I do it, so it felt really good to let go. That's a better word. To let go of my piece and to have somebody else enjoy it in their home. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited to expand on this concept because it is one that I'm very passionate about, and I think I'm onto something with the current events and the Mother Nature theme. And yeah, I hope to keep doing these videos and to share my insights kind of behind, because all you see is my Instagram and the piece itself, but I want to give you kind of behind the scenes of what it looks like and what it was like to create something and then to see it hung up and people looking at it and knowing all of the backstory between it. Like, just knowing the whole process of it is a beautiful thing that I'm grateful to say that I can do. So yeah, this is my latest piece. If you have any questions, if you have any comments or want to DM me, I might start selling some prints of this too, if you want to have a piece of Gaia in your own home. And yeah, I'm excited to share more with you and to do more videos like this. I think the main idea of this work, though, like besides making a video, besides anything, is understanding the connection that we have to everything that happens around us. And if you feel the need to speak out about something, know that you can do that. And just because you're not directly affected, and I didn't see any of the fires in person, or, you know, we all as human beings have the right to speak up about our planet and to be cautious about what we do with it and how we protect it. So this is my little way of saying something about it. And I think the main idea too is intermingling it with the personification of woman herself, woman as a powerful being, woman as a vulnerable being, a broken being, a destructive being, but also being the most powerful and the most susceptible to create growth within her own self. So that's the main idea of the piece, and I hope that it inspires you as well. So thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already.